During cancer therapy, your child will have to undergo repeated examinations or treatments that are unpleasant or even painful. So, of course, the important question is how you, as parents, can best support and accompany your child in this situation. Because even though you might sometimes feel like you can't do much, as your child's primary caregiver, you are super important. And you can have a very positive influence on how they experience and master unpleasant situations. That's why we're now going to talk about exactly how you can support your child. That is before, during, and after the examination or treatment. So let us start with what you can do in advance, because good preparation is, as they say, half the battle. This way, you can eliminate a lot of stress beforehand and then go into the situation later with a sense of confidence. The most important thing, first of all, is be well informed. Meaning, how does the examination or treatment work? What's being done and why? Because of course, the better you know what's going on, the better you can prepare for the situation. In the best case scenario, preparing your child for this can eliminate most concerns or fears in advance. And when you yourselves are well informed, you can, of course, explain everything well to your child. That gives them a sense of security. So the next point naturally is good communication. But what does that exactly mean? Well, good communication means that you are giving your child a sense of security and confidence. But you shouldn't sugarcoat anything, you know? To make sure this works well, you can think even before you talk to your child. What do I actually want to say? And how do I want to say it? That's not always so easy, right? Because sometimes appointments and decisions come up very suddenly. What is also important, children react very strongly to what is modeled for them. And they assess a situation based on how we, as adults, handle it. So that means you should be as careful as possible not to transfer your own worries or fears too much onto your child. You can do this, for example, by trying to avoid frightening words. Of course, that doesn't mean you should sugarcoat it or play it down. But you can say, for example, "Hey, this will probably sting for a second, but then it'll be over very quickly. And if you want, you can hold my hand the whole time and squeeze as hard as you want, okay?" So, try to encourage your child and signal to them that they can do it, because that is actually the most important thing of all. Because what doesn't help your child in that moment is if you're suffering along with them, even if, of course, well, you can't completely turn that off, right? But that only intensifies your child's fear, and the more fear they have, the greater their perception of pain. Or to put it in a more positive way, the less fear they have, the less severe the pain feels. So, don't panic, but as the stronger person, remain calm on the outside and offer encouragement. What can also help in this situation is to actively involve your child. Here too, it's best to clarify with the treatment team in advance how your child could be involved in the process. For example, by carrying the syringe from A to B themselves, or by being allowed to decide for themselves which arm they get the shot in. This gives your child a degree of control over the situation, and it strengthens their sense of self-efficacy. In addition, you should also, together with the treatment team, try to develop set routines. Most examinations and treatments are repeated over and over again during the course of therapy, and it can help if the procedures are always exactly the same. Because these routines will also give your child a feeling of security and control, and they then know exactly what will happen next. And they can simply adjust to the situation much better. And the last point is, provide distractions. See what works well for you, so that your child can get their mind off things for a bit during the examination or treatment. That can be music, an audiobook, or even a smartphone or tablet. In a situation like that, any form of distraction is welcome. Maybe an anti-stress ball will help your child, or a piece of clay they can squeeze in their hand. And of course, a stuffed animal can be involved too, right? It can talk with the child or sing something to them. That's the point where you, as a mom or dad, can show what you've got, in terms of entertainment skills. Good, those were a few tips, for the moment of the treatment or the examination itself. But even when the situation is over, it's still somehow not really over. Your child will probably need a lot of comfort and closeness now. But how do you actually comfort someone the right way? This is actually quite simple. The crucial thing, above all, is to show understanding. If your child experienced the situation as difficult or painful, then you should definitely take that seriously. Tell them when you're comforting them, "I understand you. I'm here for you. It's okay to be sad." That helps your child to process the situation and to let go. At the same time, you can also help your child find their way out of the situation again. First, by sufficiently acknowledging what's happening, and then, afterward, shifting to look forward. Something like, "Yeah, wow, that really hurt, didn't it? Yeah, good, it's good that it's over now. Now let's focus on making you feel better again quickly." Something like that, because after all, the most important thing you can give your child is a good, reliable, and loving relationship. So when your child feels that you always stand by them, comfort them, and give them courage, then that's already a whole lot. And no one can do that as well as you can. So, and even though that would be a good final word, I'd like to get something very urgent off my chest at this point. So that you can guide your child well through the treatment period, don't forget to also take care of yourselves. Even if you'd rather be there for your child all the time, in order to help others, we also have to help ourselves. Yes, there are times when you have to push your own distress aside to support and encourage your child. But then there also needs to be room again for what's on your own minds. And that is why I also really want to urge you to also watch the next video. Because that video is all about the very important topic of parental self-care, meaning what you as parents can do so that all of you can get through this difficult time